I'm Sid Part 2,
And I am Matthew Maxwell Myers.
and today we are going to do a new format of a review for the incredible Burt Wonderstone.
Mm-hmm.
It's odd, Maxwell. I keep seeing movies come out in theaters about magicians in pairs. It seems I don't know why. Because we got a couple years ago, we got The Prestige, which was quickly followed by The Illusionist, and then there was nothing for a long time, and now we have the incredible Burt Wonderstone, right on the tails of the Great and Powerful Oz. I
I
don't
I haven't seen the Great and Powerful Oz yet.
wait.
Have
Did I
you?
get that? No, I think I got that backwards. It's
Oz the Great and Powerful, yeah.
subject of a sentence. Who cares?
Yeah.
Um,
I haven't seen that yet. Have you?
no, to be honest with you, I kind of wish I'd seen that instead of this.
Really?
Not to reveal my hand too soon, but yeah, a little bit.
Well, since the film is still in theaters, I think we should give a really quick do we recommend it, do we not, just so people can see this far, then get a more in-depth. We're gonna talk about spoilers, or at least I will.
Yeah, definitely, and I do like doing that.
Yeah.
So overall, I enjoy the film. It's pretty good. Jim Carrey's my favorite in it. Um, there's a lot of subtle nods that I really like. Overall, if you're into magic, it's not the worst thing you're gonna watch. It's not gonna piss you off if you're a magician. Or if you're someone that really likes magic, it's not going to piss you off because it's getting shit just utterly wrong. But at the same time, it's kind of a typical comedy. They shoehorn in a romance story, and it's kind of boring, and there are a lot of character flaws for me. I wouldn't say don't watch it. I don't know if I'd go to the theater if I had the choice. If I hadn't been planning on doing this video, I don't know if I would have rushed out to go see this in the theaters.
My opinion is I saw this as a matinee, and there were like 10 people or less in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some jokes that there were, I counted approximately 6 or 7 jokes that I was the only one laughing because I'm a magician and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a layman going to see this for the magic, yeah, maybe not. It's definitely a pretty good comedy. Now, I really enjoyed the film. If you're a magician, I would say go and see it in theaters with a bunch of the folks from the local magic club. You'll get a lot of enjoyment that way with like-minded individuals. But I went and saw it by myself at a matinee. The matinee probably wasn't the best choice, just because I think with more people in the audience, you, I felt a little nervous to laugh at the parts where I actually got the joke because no one else was getting a chuckle at some of these.
Mm-hmm.
But
And yeah, with this, I did something that I really don't like doing, which is I went to the theater um, alone because my father, because of his physical condition, he can't go to movie theaters anymore. So I went to the theater alone, and I hate going to theaters alone in general. But where it's absolutely the worst is at a comedy because you laugh and there's no one there to nudge over or something like that. And that made it a little bit awkward, but I'm already socially awkward, so that helped. Um, so I still enjoyed it. I don't know what was your favorite. Just without spoiling it, like who was your favorite actor? What was some of your favorite stuff in it?
uh, honestly, I thought Jim Carrey, I haven't been keeping up with Jim Carrey and what he's been doing. The latest thing that I knew was he was doing more serious roles a few years back, and this here it really reminded me a bit of this. This isn't the best analogy, but it reminded me a lot of The Mask when Jim Carrey was in The Mask, not as oh, what the hell was
Stanley
his character
Ipkiss.
name?
Stanley Ipkiss.
Ipkiss.
Um,
Yeah.
See, I don't know if I'd say that, because the mask was just such a cartoony character, and this is the one thing I really liked, without spoiling anything important, is Jim Carrey's parodying Chris Angel and just that entire genre of magic. And the thing that I loved is every time he came on stage or was about to do something, they would play music that was identical to the theme Chris Angel used on Mind Freak, and I found that hilarious. Every time I heard it, it made me laugh. I don't know. He was the best part about it for me, but I wouldn't say it's in line with The Mask. This is something different for him because I don't think he's ever really played a villain before, if you will.
Right. Well, my whole point
besides,
was, I just remembered Jim Carrey as the Mask from my childhood, and that being a great comedy. So that's why I compared it to the Mask. There are probably a few better comedic roles that Jim Carrey has played to compare it to.
yeah.
But the only other one that I can think of is Ace Ventura, but I only saw that like twice, way too long ago, and I don't remember a damn thing about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's done anything quite like this. I know he did the villain in Lemony Snicket, but I never watched that. But yeah, this was, I mean, he was pretty good as, the bad guy in this, and I really enjoyed him for that. I love Steve Buscemi. Just anytime he shows up in something, I'm like, yes, Steve Buscemi. So I don't know. I enjoyed parts of that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get a little spoilery now.
Oh, that's fine. Just real quick, guys. That's the non-spoiler part. I come down as should go see it, but probably not alone. But if you do, if you got a passing interest in it, wait till it's on DVD. Would be my thought.
If you're gonna see it in theaters, do not go to a matinee. Yes, it's cheaper, but unless you're bringing a lot of other magicians to see it with you, go to a late night showing when there's gonna be at least 20 or 30 people there. But then again, this here is the opening weekend, and hopefully next weekend it'll still have folks there. If not, then definitely go to the matinee, but bring friends along.
I'd agree with that. So anyway, spoiler territory.
And now for the spoilers. Yeah, you can't see one thing that I just did by just placed my hands up waiting for the words spoilers to come up onto the camera, but
I can do that if you really want. See, I did jazz hands. I did. See, it's funny because we're videotaping this, but we can't see each other, which is a really weird way to do it, admittedly, but whatever.
I don't have a webcam yet, so I'm filming it off of my camera while doing audio through Skype, so...
Yeah, it's a weird one, but that's okay. That's all right. Anyway, so my biggest problem with this movie is that we start out with our main character, Burt, and we see that he's a kid that gets bullied. And that, makes us empathize with him, and then, you see he gets a friend, and he gets into magic and all that stuff. And then you see that he sticks close to his friend, and they become very successful magicians. All right, that's cool. Abracadabra, I'll give you that, man. Magicians coming out on stage to music about magic is pretty damn cheesy.
Yeah.
But Abracadabra works, and then, the biggest problem I have is after we see him as a successful magician, he suddenly becomes just this gigantic ass. And he's that way for, the next half hour, 45 minutes. And then we're supposed to go through this character arc where we begin to sympathize with him again. And that bugs me because I'm like, well, if you wanted us to sympathize with him, why not just make him sympathetic throughout the entire movie?
Yeah. My biggest problem with Steve Carell's performance was just I occasionally got a few Will Ferrell vibes off of him in a few scenes. Just the delivery and the way his voice was. It was, that sounds familiar. Then, the third time he did it, he was in the bathtub. The the bubble bath without the bubbles.
The
And
bubbles have disappeared. Yeah, I could totally see Will Ferrell saying that line. Not gonna lie. Um,
yeah,
hmm,
uh, honestly, with the title like the incredible uh, Burt Wonderstone, it reminded me a lot of what was it, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby or whatever the hell that was that Will Ferrell did.
yeah,
He, he's done a few where it sounds just like a
Ron
Will
Burgundy,
Ferrell.
Anchorman, The Ballad of
Yeah,
Ricky Bobby, and then you have Walk Hard, a Dewey Cox story. That wasn't Will
actually, I
Ferrell, but
really enjoyed Rock Hard.
Walk
Walk
Hard.
Hard.
I enjoyed the black guy that just kept going. You don't want none of this, and then when they finally confronted him about all his problems, and you never bought drugs, not one time. Then they go through the roster, and then they get back to the black guy, and you never bought drugs, not one time. And then they go through the roster, and they get back to him, and you never bought drugs, not one time. I just always find that scene really amusing. That one cracked me the hell up. But yeah, I'd agree with that. It does kind of feel like that's a life story kind of movie, doesn't it? Um, hmm.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
don't know. Like, was the director of this the same one that did?
I'm not sure. Uh,
Yeah, it's weird.
I would like to say my favorite part in this was the part with David Copperfield. That that was really that was one of the few parts where it was no one in the audience knew who it was until they said David Copperfield.
Yeah.
Once I saw David, it was I know exactly where this is going to go, and this is great.
Mm.
But everyone else was dead silent. They didn't recognize David Copperfield. And honestly, I think this film really is more for magicians than laymen. Laymen can enjoy it, but I think magicians are really going to get quite a bit of the jokes in this.
Okay. And I'd agree with that. There were a lot of references here and there that I picked up on enough of them that I enjoyed it. I don't know, the magician's bar thing cracked me up. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. I love Jay Moore. Anytime I see Jay Moore in something, I'm just yes.
Who was he?
He was the magician that was like alone, and like he was like this
Oh,
just sad man.
the ferrets, right?
Yeah, yeah, with the ferrets.
Okay, yeah.
I
Uh,
wish I could go home to my wife and family, except I don't have any. um, Now, what do you think of the whole? Do you think this movie was a little hard on Chris Angel?
Chris Angel deserves a lot worse than this.
Ow!
Just
Ouch!
you
Um,
see, you see, what would have been great is if this was major spoilers. Well, not really, because the plot is so predictable. You know, the second that they show the two friends together, they're gonna split up. They're gonna get the gig. They're gonna win
yeah.
out at the end.
Hmm.
But what would have really been great is if I don't remember a lot of these characters' names. I'm just gonna call them by the stereotype. The Chris Angel guy. Uh,
Yeah. Chris
it,
Gray, actually.
no,
Um,
it wasn't Chris Gray. It was Stephen Gray, something like that. It's just they did not use any name to reference any of these magicians, except for David Copperfield, who appeared as himself.
mhm.
But the Chris Angel character, what would have been great is if he had actually, instead of drilling a hole in his head, if he had done stage magic. Because I don't know if you know this, but the big thing was, oh, pipe down, Winston. Uh,
Is Winston in the shot?
Winston will probably be cut out of it.
Dang. Oh well.
Well, you could leave it as full screen on my end, but
No, then I don't get to be in it. And I don't want to rob the people of my beautiful face.
oh, of course,
Um,
of course. Um, the point that I'm trying to make is when Chris Angel did Believe, I have not seen Believe because there is almost no good amount of footage out there, I believe. Every review I have read says it is horrible. They say that it did not live up to Magic in Las Vegas, and Magic in Las Vegas can range from, good stuff like Penn and Teller all the way down to, magicians just performing in small clubs, small rooms. And have you read any of the stuff about Believe and Chris Angel?
I didn't even know he did an act live like that. But no,
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah. Honestly, if they had went that way with the character, that would
Where once he started doing stage magic, he was a failure.
Yes, that would have been a lot more deserving for Chris Angel. So.
Well, I don't know. I mean, he kind of was in a certain sense with the drilling a hole in his head, and I don't know how Jim Carrey did that with his eye. That was wow.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing is, I mean, he stole every scene he was in. Just absolutely, and the whole thing with the puppy and just my favorite line from the character was, that's not a very appropriate trick to do in front of children. What if they try to imitate you? Then I'll sue them because it's my trick.
I was the only one in the theater who laughed at that line. That is a great line. It really is.
Yeah, that man cracked me up. But dude, like I don't know. I think this was a little hard on Chris Angel because he doesn't exactly do the same gross out stuff, and it's not like, as far as I know, he hasn't shown up to other people's acts and just ruined them.
Correct.
So I don't know. I thought it was maybe a little mean toward him, but it's obviously an exaggeration, which I mean, I guess helps sell it a little more.
Do you remember the first thing where we saw the Chris Angel character?
Wasn't it the cutting his face open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I've seen Chris Angel do an effect just like that before, and honestly, this grossed me out a little bit more than when Chris Angel actually did it.
Yeah, I'd agree. That was the thing is, like, that's the line I loved is when he first approached him. It was like, what you just did there was interesting, disgusting, but interesting. I don't know.
I should probably mention this way earlier. This here is rated PG-13, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't show some of this stuff to a 13-year-old.
I was watching Kevin Smith when I was 13, so I mean it's certainly more disgusting than what a 13-year-old than a lot of Kevin Smith stuff as far as gross out moments, but I don't think there's anything in it content wise. I think the language in it is tame enough that it's a little more acceptable.
Well, the language definitely, but I'm referring to. Honestly, my dad was really strict about the rating system for me. And I'm just lighting my pipe right now.
Okay. I don't know. I watched, what was it? This Film Is Not Yet Rated the other day, and they go into the whole rating system thing, so I've lost all confidence in it since I never knew the background of it before. But that's a topic for another day. I don't know. There were definitely gross out moments, and I heard a woman in the theater go, "Oh my God, I can't look," when he was cutting his face open. So
yeah.
I mean, I guess that it is very, very graphic, so there is that to keep in mind. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, it's no worse than your average, slasher flick. And a lot of those are actually somehow getting by as PG-13 now, so that's weird. Like, I think the newest Friday the 13th was rated PG-13 for some reason.
I'm really not that much of a horror slasher film guy, so.
I like horror. I don't think slashing is horror, though.
We're getting way off topic, aren't we?
It happens. I don't know. I guess
welcome to the 3-hour review of the 3-hour film.
It's not even 3 hours long. All right. What was the name of the guy that played the old magician? Was that Harvey Weinstein?
Alan Arkin. Captain Logan just did the review of on Superhero Rewind. What is it? Captain Invincible. Yeah.
Huh.
Same
I
actor.
just like I thought this was Harvey Keitel or whatever his name is. I've never seen anything. I don't think I've seen anything this guy's in.
Um,
I'm sorry, I got the IMDb page pulled up right here, so I'm just looking through
yeah.
his stuff.
Okay.
Oh, okay, I
The
have
thing that
seen
I always
Sunshine.
remember him from is The Rocketeer.
Never saw that either. Um,
You
I don't know.
haven't?
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Well, I know I disappointed you. It's okay.
That's just one of my favorite films. So.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I really liked him in this, especially. I thought it was weird that they, give him a stroke in the middle of the movie, or well, actually not the middle. Toward the end, the end of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
second act, they give him a stroke, and then he comes back at the end anyway. I mean, it was like,
Yeah.
what was the point of that? Just to make Jim Carrey's character into more of an asshole? Um, it didn't serve any purpose, which is what bugged me about it. He's literally just out of one scene. They just found a way to write him out of a scene. Um,
Yeah.
though him trying to disappear and just hiding under the bed cracked me up.
Oh.
That
Did,
was
did
insane.
Did you see any of the trailers before?
That one I did see, but I'd forgotten about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
What I really love is the Chris Angel thing, where it's instead of the mind freak, he's the brain rapist, something like that.
And the thing is, I could totally see that show coming on television nowadays.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw a show called Brain Rapist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Coming next fall on HBO, The Brain Rapist.
No, because HBO would make something good.
Yeah,
But
good point. Good point.
but the thing is that's like a new History Channel show for some reason. Anyway, I don't know. I liked Jim Carrey the most. I didn't get some of the reasons they did the story certain ways. And then there were a couple jokes that were just dumb for the sake of being dumb. Like the one character, Anton,
Oh yeah.
giving magic away to starving children. Like, really?
That was
That was
hilarious.
I
I
don't
loved
know.
that.
I thought it was just too much. I'm like, that was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
I liked what they did with it. It's just it seemed a little dumb to me.
It's just that the giving magic away to third world nations, there are some magicians out there who go to these third world nations and perform magic.
Okay, I never knew that. That's funny.
Yeah, you see, I can't speak if they do or don't give food and water. I'm hoping that they will give food and water instead of magic sets.
Well, like the thing is, it's only there to introduce the major fantasy element that they use in the end of the show.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, after like the official end of the movie and like right before the credits go, oh my god, funniest scene in the movie for me.
Did you stick around after the credits? I had to go immediately, so.
Yeah, I did. There was nothing after the credits. I was just talking about the crews moving the audience members. That was hysterical.
You see, I don't know if that would have actually been better as a complete after the credits. Just because I could see the movie completely ending, going to black, when Steve Carell pulls down the door,
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I don't know. I found that funnier than hell because like, what's the worst that can happen? We could go to jail or kill somebody. So it doesn't sound that bad when you say it out loud. And then you're like, well, okay, fine. It's just a stupid comedy. They're not really thinking about the practicality of doing this. And then you see how you would have to actually do this. And that just amuses me. Now let me ask you this. I could tell that they used a couple little camera tricks and I think there was one CGI element. I'm not entirely sure, just because it's on so briefly and I only got, the one look at it so far. That bird out of the salt shaker.
CGI.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. One of them that I could tell was CGI was the coin rolls.
Really?
At the end with Alan Arkin. That looked like a completely different hand to me. So,
Well, no, that wasn't a CGI effect. Yeah, I can tell they did that throughout the entire film. Just anytime they were showing, Steve Carell's character or just any of the actors do magic, like sleight of hand stuff, you could tell it was literally it was a cut to just a shot of their hands, and I swear what they did was just find a magician to basically be a stand-in to do those elements of it. Which I don't mind because I'd rather see that than Steve Carell try to do poor magic.
well, it would have really suited his character at that point,
Yeah, but still, no, because when you finally start seeing that stuff, it was supposed to be getting better.
Well, just the original part of it, when
Fair
he's
enough.
first trying it again.
Like the golf ball trick they did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was clearly another guy's hands, just the way they were cutting the shots. Though I really did like the bounty thing, and this movie found some great ways to do product placement. I gotta say, the bounty joke was just funny as hell.
One of my favorites was the condom bit, where he changed it to a different one. That was
just like really. Joke. Just like really, nah.
No, it's for the effect.
Nah, it's just magic trick, and it's just like, oh god, dude, why would you set yourself up for that?
But you know what? It's so funny. You know what? If I am ever in that position, damn it, I may do that just for a laugh.
Yeah, and then she like walks out, and you're like, well, that was dumb.
But it was
I can just see you just sitting there on the bed. I did not think this one through. Not at all.
You know what? That would actually be a great little sketch.
Okay.
Anyway,
it's on you. I don't know. Some of the jokes in that did work. Let me see. There were a couple other things. The smoke toward the end was obviously CG, I could tell.
Yeah.
Probably mixing the two, but definitely a lot of it, or parts of it were CG.
Honestly, the only two tricks that I would care to talk about, some of the stuff like the kid vanishing, the silk in the thumb tip, that was practical, all of that stuff. The two big illusions, the hangman and the locker.
I loved how he did the hangman on his own.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But honestly, yeah, the hangman bit was that camera trickery or what? Because I couldn't quite tell because they cut the shots enough, but that doesn't mean they couldn't have done it still.
There is actually a real effect like that. But just because you see the magician's legs in it, yeah, I haven't seen any version where you see the legs. Most of the time, the magician is just covered in the cloak.
Okay.
And,
yeah, it's hard to tell. The locker bit was clever.
Here's the thing about the locker bit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any other magician do that. There probably is one who is, but I can guarantee you, a few magicians thought about that and went, "Hey, that's a new bit."
Really, it is? Swords into a box?
No. Using the locker room sketch idea.
Oh, okay, using the setting of it. All right,
yeah, and having it be a locker. It's an old effect called the sword box. What else?
Because magicians are so clever sometimes.
Yeah. I do have to say this here. This is where I actually get a little bit into magic review time.
Oh, that's fine. It's totally fine.
Honestly, if any of you are going to do that trick, do not use swords. Have her be a cheerleader and use cheerleader batons to shove through the box. Because why do you have swords at a high school or a college? And why are you
do it as a prep school? Do it as a prep school where they're do it as a prep school where they're taking fencing courses.
Yeah, but at that point you're putting way too much.
Yeah, I know, but it's just you can't spear a baton. You can't spear a box with a baton. It loses some of it loses the drama of swords. So you need, I don't know, arrows, because I took archery in high school.
Well, that in that case, it couldn't be a jock. It would have to be you didn't steal the jock's girlfriend. You stole the head archery guy's girlfriend.
Fair enough. I'm just saying, or if you just have the bow and arrows sitting there, because that would actually be really cool if you could actually shoot the arrow as opposed to just sliding the sword. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be interesting to see. It'd be incredibly dangerous, but I don't have to do it.
Wait until the next effect versus effect.
Oh, great! So I mean, I can do it without danger on my end. Good luck for you.
I can't.
Have fun with that.
Speaking about effect versus effect,
yeah,
I'm going to get that out Sunday night.
Dude,
I don't know when this is going to be posted, but
I'm gonna try
March
to post
17th. I'm gonna post.
I'm gonna edit this tonight, probably right after we get done recording, and then I'm going to post it probably tomorrow, or maybe later tonight. Who knows? Since it's a new movie review, I want to get it out as soon as possible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's just the baton loses some of the drama of swords. So you need to come up with something that works for it and still works with your gimmick.
Yeah.
So that's a tricky one, but I do agree. Swords are a little weird, but you need something that's more dramatic than batons, in my opinion, for that act to really work. Mm-hmm. But anyway,
but just the idea that swords do not shoving anything through a locker isn't going to work. But you have to really have a reason for the swords.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make a reason in your plot.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's just like the swords just add the drama to it. You know what I mean? They add the oh my god, he could actually get cut, even though we all know it's not a real sword, but still. Which, by the way, it looked like they were using real swords inside the box.
I'm going to say they probably weren't using swords with actual blades.
Yeah, no, it's just like from the way the what's her name, Jane was acting, or Nicole, if you will, was acting. It's just she looked like there were actually real swords, so it made me laugh from that.
Well, she is an actor after all, right?
Yeah, but she's supposed to know the bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, how'd you like it when they revealed that she was actually a really good magician?
Did she do any magic in this?
I don't know if
I don't
saw
recall
her.
anything.
And, well, no, there's the bit with the $5 bill turning into the butterfly, and she stole the watch in the guy's wallet. And like they imply that she's a really good magician because of that, which is fine.
Yeah, but I don't see enough to actually call her a good female magician. So
fair enough. It's just from what I recall, I think it happens in one shot where she has the $5 bill, crumples it, and then open her hands and it's butterfly. And I can tell the butterfly was more than likely CG.
Yeah.
I'd have to get a better look at it to really call that, because I mean it's not that hard to get an actual butterfly. But if she was able to palm the 5 just on her own merit, that would have been pretty well done. Though Jay Moore did my favorite bit in the entire thing. Just, hey bartender, I want to give you this $100 bill. You're just going to turn it into a 1 when I take it. No, why would I do that? That's ridiculous. I would never do something like that. Then he takes it, turns it into a 1, like, asshole.
Here's the really sad thing. Once he said that, I started laughing. No one else in the audience was.
Really?
I mean, as soon as I saw the $100 bill, I knew he was going to change it into a different bill.
Yeah.
But then again, I think, as I said, some of these are just for magicians.
Uh-huh.
Or someone who's seen a lot of magic. You know, I think the folks who went to this, at least in my audience, they probably were just going because, hey, it's the only comedy out in theaters at the moment. Let's see it. I want to laugh at something.
I'd agree.
You know?
It seems like it's very much. I had a lot of the same crowd. They laughed at the stuff that was supposed to be really funny, like like Steve Carell freaking out inside the hot box, and like I think a lot of people went to this that are going to this are going to go to it for Steve Carell, which I mean, if he's got that star power level, that's congratulations to him. But I don't know. There's enough in it for the magic fan or the magician to merit watching it.
Yeah.
Who knows? You might get some ideas. Speaking of which, I got one from this. If you're at all interested,
Oh, go ahead.
I always see people use chains, handcuffs, rope, right,
Yeah.
for an escape.
Hmm.
Packing tape. I've never seen it done.
Huh.
And it would it would add a lot of difficulty to an escape when you think about it, because I work with packing tape every day and I get that shit. I'm sitting there trying to tape up a box or some bubble wrap or something,
Yeah.
and it gets stuck to your fingers. And you're like trying to mess with it, and it doesn't let go. So that would add. I don't know if it'd be as good for the audience, but I think for a magician side of things, it'd be actually a fairly interesting bit.
Well, as long as you can prove, you'd have to have them sign the tape and
Mm,
prove that you didn't cut your way out of it.
fair
That's the
enough.
big thing.
Something like that. It just occurred to me, and it wouldn't have to be whole body. You just have someone come on with a roll of tape, and you just do your hands like so, and have them wrap them up. That would be a fairly good level to a bit, because it's more difficult to get out of that kind of thing. Even with cutting it, it would take a long time. But that's just something that occurred to me, because
Yeah.
I kept seeing them use chains and ropes for different things. So.
Mhm.
I don't know. We're getting on about 40 minutes here. Is there anything else you really wanted to get in?
There is one thing that I would like to say, kind of in a wrapping things up. If you want to see a movie as a magician that's a lot funnier than this, uh, it's called Magicians. Of course it is. Why isn't it? It's made by. It's not made by, but it has David Mitchell and Robert Webb as the two magicians. So if you know anything about that Mitchell and Webb look, or if you've seen David Mitchell's Soapbox, you kind of know the comedy. It is a great comedy about magicians, and it runs kind of along the same plot points.
Mm,
Uh,
okay.
well, major plot. But it is a lot funnier. It has more names and magic in it, and it really is great. And that's another film that I need to get around to reviewing at some point.
Mm,
But honestly, I don't really see myself recommending this to laymen. I see recommending this to, if you're a magician, go with a bunch of your magician friends. Or if there's laymen who love magic and they've seen enough, you'll get basically every joke. And that's really the big thing for me. That you want to go with an audience who gets a lot of the jokes. So,
yeah. So that way you don't feel awkward if you're the only one laughing, and that's a problem. A lot of comedies with these, like, very very corner kind of the market things have
yeah.
issues with. And I think this does it. This balances that out well enough. Go see it if you really, really like Steve Carell, or if there are very few magic movies that come out, so if you're really into magic, go watch it,
Yeah.
because it'll be a while to get much else. Um, Otherwise, I don't know, if you're just kind of got a passing interest in this movie for whatever reason, I wouldn't recommend spending the money on a theater ticket. I'd just wait till it comes out on DVD, rent it, download it illegally. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right. Just did the big wink.
Yeah, me too.
I really hope that was timed at the exact same moment. That would be
I didn't like lean into the camera. I did it really subtly, since wasn't sure how you were, how serious you were about that. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Let us know how you like this format with this split screen review style. It's been something I think about playing around with for a while, but I didn't want there to be a drastic shift in camera quality, so I didn't want to do it with Bill or Milan. But yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we might do another one of these.
Oh, if y'all liked this, I would prefer to do magic movie reviews this way as opposed to having to edit a full, like, 40-minute review. I'd rather just talk about it like this, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, just let us know in the comments.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoy.